So good day, everyone. I'm Kasthuri, working as a biomedical engineer in Aravind Eye Care System. So let me continue the session. So the first, we'll start with Streak Retinoscope. It's a very simplest equipment in ophthalmology, we can say. So every refractionist, optometrist, and other technicians used to have this Streak Retinoscope. It's a handheld monocular device. So this Streak Retinoscope is used to measure the refractive errors like farsightedness, short-sightedness, astigmatism in human eyes by objective refraction method. So there are two different types of retinoscopes available in the market. One is spot retinoscope and another one is streak retinoscope. So the spot retinoscope gives you the output on the images in even surface. But in streak retinoscope, we'll get a streak of light in the output. And also there are two different methods of measurements available. One is objective measurement, which can be done using streak retinoscopes. That means any retinoscope. And the another one is the subjective measurement that is done by using Snellen's chart. And let us move on to the parts of the streak retinoscope. So the major parts are head and handle. Head consists of optical parts, and the handle has the provision to give the energy to the light to glow. And here we are using different spare parts, spares like bulb and the dry cells. So for the battery operated, we need two 1.5 volt batteries. And also for the battery operated, we need 2.5 volt bulb. And for the power supply operated and other rechargeable operated streak retinoscope, we may need 3.5 volt bulb. So in case of bulb fuse, if you want to replace that, you should note this rating of the bulb. And in the head, it has a different parts. So we can place the bulb inside the head, and then it has a control ring, and here it has a condensing lens, and here there is a mirror which is kept at 45 degree, and then it reflects the light to the patient. And the shape of the filament is quite special in this retinoscope bulb. Here you can find a filament. The bulb filament is flat. The shape of the bulb filament in the streak retinoscope is flat. Either in other equipment, you can find a spiral filament bulb. Here you can find a streak filament bulb. So let us move on to the parts of the handle. Here, the handle has three different parts. One is the closer and the hollow cylinder, and this is the rheostat. So the rheostat acts as an on-off switch as well as the intensity controller. And the hollow cylinder has a provision to hold the batteries for the battery-operated streak retinoscope, or it can use the adapter for the power supply operated equipment. And the closer has the spring to hold the batteries. So let us move on to the optical diagram of the schematic diagram of streak retinoscope. So here the flat filament bulb gives the light, and the light rays passes through the condensing lens, and the condensing lens gives you a collimated parallel beam of light. Then the light gets reflected by the 45 degree mirror, and the light reflects to the patient eye. That light, the reflected light from the patient, can be seen by the examiner. So this is the optical path of the streak retinoscope. And let us move on to care and maintenance of head of the streak retinoscope. So since it's an optical equipment, keeping them dust free is very important. So first clean the optics. Before cleaning the optics, first we need to blow the dust. So first blow the dust using a hand blower, and then clean the optics using cotton swabs moistened with mild soap solution or distilled water. If you need, you can use isopropyl alcohol too. So, and also while cleaning, you should not apply force on the optics since it's likely broken. So gently clean the optics. Any optics of the ophthalmic equipment, we need to clean it in a gentle manner. And for the handle, so whenever we put new batteries, we should keep the rheostat in medium position for at least 1 day. Since we are using 1.5 volt batteries, two 1.5 volt batteries in series so that we can get more than 3 volt. Whenever you put new batteries, it always give more than 1.5. So we can get more than 3 voltage, which is more than enough for the 2.5 volt bulb. So to ensure the longer life of the bulb, we should keep the rheostat in medium position for at least 1 day. And then we need to check the tension of the spring, which is in the regular interval, which is in the back of the cover, back side in the handle. And at the end of the day, after usage, we should remove the batteries from the handle. If you leave the batteries inside quite for a long time, then it may leak. So the handle inside and the rheostat gets rust, corroded by the leakage of the batteries. So once it get corroded, if it is an initial stage, you can use the lubricant spray, and by using the emery paper, you can remove the rust. If it is a worsen case, then we need to change the whole handle. So it's better to remove the batteries out from the handle at the end of the day. Otherwise, it get leak. And whenever the instrument is not in use, it should be kept in its pouch to keep them dust free. And also if the handle has rechargeable battery, it has to be recharged at the end of the day at a regular manner. So let us move on to the troubleshooting techniques of Streak Retinoscope. So when there is no light, then there may be possible reasons, or if the voltage in the batteries become low, then it won't give you light. So we have to check the voltage of the batteries using multimeter, and we need to replace the batteries. And sometimes because of the bulb getting fused, it won't give you a light. So in this case, we need to replace the bulb. So while replacing, you should ensure the correct rating of the bulb you are replacing or not. And then sometimes the head which holds in the rheostat, if it not get any good contact, then it won't give you light. So we need to mount the head with the handle properly so that we can get the light. And sometimes because of any issue in the rheostat, it won't work. In this case, it's better to replace the rheostat. So if you are a technician, if you have any biomedical technician, you can get help from the biomedical technician. And if you are using a power supply operated equipment, that means a Streak Retinoscope, where the power supply is not working, then first you have to check whether the cables connected with the power supply to the Streak Retinoscope is well connected or not. We have to check it. And is there any disconnection is there, then it won't work. So in this case, you may need a biomedical technician to help you. And sometimes because of the bulb fuse, it won't work. Then we need to replace with the bulb. That means a 3.5 volt bulb for power supply operated. And is there any disconnection in the circuit which is inside the power supply? Then we need to check. So for those issues, you may need a help of the biomedical technician. And the next issue is dim illumination. So whenever the illumination produced by the Streak Retinoscope is insufficient, then you have to check whether the glass portion of the bulb is cleared or not. Sometimes it gets blackened or whitish, then it won't give you enough illumination. So in this case, you need to replace the bulb of the same rating. And also, if the voltage of the batteries get drained, the voltage is not enough to produce that good illumination, then we need to replace the batteries. Check the voltage of the batteries and replace them with new batteries. And sometimes the potentiometer or the rheostat in the equipment, if you keep them in a low level, then it won't give you the required illumination. Then keep them in optimum illumination. And also one of the more other reason for getting dim illumination is accumulation of dust and carbon in the rheostat. So to fix this issue, you may need a biomedical technician help. So next condition is the image, the reflex you've seen through the the Streak Retinoscope is not clear. Then there may be dust or fingerprint deposited on the optics, or the front optics or that back one. So first, in this case, we need to clean the optics, blow the dust, and clean the optics with wet cotton swabs and then clean it with dry cotton swabs. So let us move on to the next equipment called direct ophthalmoscope. So it is one of the most important equipment for ophthalmologist, like a stethoscope to a general doctor. So it is a very important equipment. Whenever the slit lamp is not available, this equipment will help them to look at the fundus and all. So it is also a monocular handheld device. So let us see the use of direct ophthalmoscope. So the direct ophthalmoscope, especially, it is used to see the fundus of the eye. Here you can view the narrow view of the fundus, and also it can be used to see the used to examine the anterior parts too. But especially it is used to see the fundus of the eye. So like the Streak Retinoscope, it is also having the same kind of parts, head and handle. Head consists of different optical parts. So in the front portion of the head, you can find a viewing window which passes the light to the patient eye. And there is an aperture wheel and a filter selection switch. This aperture has different various apertures that can be accessed by rotating the aperture wheel. And here it has the filter is commonly it's a red free filter, green filter. So you can switch over to the red free filter or to its normal color. And in the back view of the head, you can find the viewing window, which is for examiner to look at the light reflected from the fundus patient. And here there's a brow rest to rest the brow of the examiner. And here the disc lens wheel, which can be accessed. And also it has different power of lenses ranging from plus 40 diopter to minus 35 diopter according to the model. And here there is a display to display the selection of that disc lens, which you have selected. So let me show you the optical diagram of direct ophthalmoscope. So the light rays comes from the bulb is always scattered in nature that passes through the condensing lens. That condensing lens make it to the scattered light to parallel beam of light. Then the parallel beam of light passes through that aperture wheel and the filter to get shape. If you want color, you can add the filter will give the color, and then it passes through the objective lens. This objective lens helps us to focus the light to the 45-degree mirror. So this 45-degree mirror, reflecting mirror, helps to reflect the light to the patient eye. So the light reflected from the patient passes through this disc lens wheel to the examiner. So here this disc lens is used to compensate the power of either doctor or the patient. So next we'll move on to care and maintenance of head. So as I said, the care and maintenance and troubleshooting is more or less common to Streak Retinoscope and direct ophthalmoscope. So since it's optical equipment, we need to clean the optics is very important. So blow the dust, clean the optics. And also while cleaning, don't apply force on any part of the equipment, especially mirror. So if is there any displacement happen while cleaning because of your applying force, then it is very difficult to bring it back to its original condition. So never apply force, especially cleaning reflecting mirrors. So clean them gently. So after usage of direct ophthalmoscope at the end of the every patient, you should keep the rheostat in off position. At the end of the day, you can remove the battery and you should keep the instrument inside the pouch so that we can prevent it from the dust as well as some further damage. So if the handle has rechargeable batteries, you should recharge it regularly as like our mobile phones. So you have to recharge it in a daily manner. So let us move on to the common problems and their solution. Usually we come across in direct ophthalmoscope, direct ophthalmoscope. So when there is no light as like a Streak Retinoscope, we need to check the voltage in the batteries. And is there any bulb fusing issue, then we need to replace the bulb. So we have to check whether the head is mounted properly with the handle and whether the rheostat has any problem or not. We have to check those things. So if it is a power supply operated, then we need to check the power card of that power supply. fuse, is there any fuse failure? Then we need to check the fuse, continuity of the fuse using multimeter. And sometimes because of the on-off switch and potentiometer failure, it won't work. To fix this, you may need a biomedical technician help. And sometimes because of the connections, the cable which connects the power supply and the handle, is there any disconnection? That has to be fixed. And sometimes because of the bulb fused, you have to check and replace the bulb. So only thing you need to check the rating of the bulb. You have to ensure whether you are replacing with the safe rating of the bulb. And dim illumination. So for this dim illumination, you have to check whether the glass portion of the bulb is clear or not. If it is blackened, then you need to replace with a new bulb. And is there any low voltage in the batteries, then you have to replace them with the new batteries. Check the pot meter in exact level or not, and also check the rheostat. So next, if the image produced by the direct ophthalmoscope is not good, then we have to check whether it has any dust or fingerprints in the optics. So we have to clean both the windows. So even after cleaning both the windows, the user feel the same issue, then it has to be open and clean all the optics is mandatory. So that for that thing, you may need the help of the biomedical technician or the engineer. So let us move on to indirect ophthalmoscope. So indirect ophthalmoscope is another beautiful equipment to see the fundus, to examine the fundus of the eye, but it is a binocular equipment. So it's a good equipment to use. So indirect ophthalmoscope is essential for examining the fundus with a detailed panoramic and complete viewing of the fundus. And also, not only it is an examining diagnostic device, it can be used as a treating device by attaching the laser delivery device with this. We can use this indirect ophthalmoscope as a laser indirect ophthalmoscope too, so treating device too. So basically, ophthalmoscopy has two different types. One is direct ophthalmoscope, which I have seen earlier, and the other one is indirect ophthalmoscope. So the basic difference between these two are, so the direct ophthalmoscope can produce magnified image. That means a 15 times magnification you can get here, and it gives you the direct image of this, and it's a monocular device. But in indirect ophthalmoscope, it's a binocular device, so you can get the binocular view, and also it gives 4 times magnification. So compared to direct ophthalmoscope, the magnification is lesser, but the field of view you can see through the indirect ophthalmoscope is large. So these are the major difference between these direct and indirect ophthalmoscope. And there are two types of indirect ophthalmoscope available. One is headband mounted and the another one is spectacle mounted. So the same viewing system can be connected with the headband as well as with the spectacle mounted. So in the headband mounted indirect ophthalmoscope, it has different parts like headband, illumination system, the viewing system, both along in this module, and here the power supply to give power to the illumination system. So in this power supply, you can find the fuse. It is we are using this for safety purpose, and here the switch for on-off purpose. And inside you can find the transformer, which step down the voltage to 30, the input voltage to 9 volt. And here the potentiometer, which helps to control the illumination by controlling the input voltage. And in the headband, you can find various adjustment knobs, headband height adjustment knob, and in the back side, you can find the width adjustment knob. And here you can find the band tension knob, which holds the band along with the illumination system. And in some models, you can find the battery that can be attached in the backside of this headband for the rechargeable battery operated equipment. And also here you can find the rheostat or the potentiometer to control the illumination of the equipment. So in the viewing system, here in the back side, you can find the bulb, which is inside. And here there's the angle knob, which controls the angle of that whole, the viewing and illumination system. And here there's a filter lever, and here is the aperture lever to change that particular filter and aperture. And here there's a mirror angle control, which helps to change the angle of the mirror. So usually it is in 45-degree. Here, to see the periphery, you can change the angle of this mirror too. So especially this particular indirect ophthalmoscope alone has this option. You cannot has this option in any other equipment like direct ophthalmoscope or a slit lamp or in Streak Retinoscope. You couldn't move this mirror. That's all fixed. Here alone, indirect ophthalmoscope alone has the option to move the mirror of the in the system. And here there is a front window which allows the light to the patient. So next, illumination system. So the illumination system has bulb, condensing lens, and filter aperture. So bulb always gives scattered light. So the condensing lens make it to parallel beam of light. Then the aperture gives the shape to the light, and the filter gives you the color to the additional colors. If you want any blue or green color, then the filters give you additional colors. And the objective lens, which focus that light to the mirror. The 45-degree mirror reflects the light to the patient. So here, to use this equipment, we may need this 20 diopter lenses. So in the filter, there is 3 options, sometimes 4 options there according to the model. So in this, there are 4 options. So blue, green, and diffuser. And this is no color. No color means you can get the ideal color of the bulb. So the natural color of the bulb. If you keep the lever in here, you can get the same color of the natural color of the bulb you can get. Usually it's in sunlight color. And here in aperture, so you can have 3 different apertures, the large one, intermediate, and smaller one. So by changing the lever, you can get your option. You can choose your option. And for using this indirect ophthalmoscope, you need some accessories. So 20 diopter lens. So without using this 20 diopter lens, you may not use that equipment. So you need 20 diopter lens. And the teaching mirror helps to the assisting people, the assisting doctor, to look at the same image that could be seen by the doctor, examiner. And this is the depressor to indent the eye, to have the peripheral look of the eye, patient eye. So let us see the optical path of the indirect ophthalmoscope. So the light comes from the bulb, passes through the objective lens, condensing lens, filter aperture section, and objective lens. And then it passes to the, focuses on the mirror. The mirror reflects the light to the patient, and the reflected light from the patient can be seen through that using the 20D lens by using this binocular view. So to get binocular arrangement, we have 4 mirrors in this binocular of the indirect ophthalmoscope. So this is a specialty when you compare to direct ophthalmoscope. All the other components are same, so except this binocular arrangement, and also the 20 diopter lens. So let us move on to the care and maintenance part. So since it has the headband, so disinfecting them is very important. So wipe the headband and the other instrument that surfaces using rubbing alcohol with a slightly motion cloth every day, and try to remove the dust. For cleaning the optics, try to remove the dust first by blowing air gently on the optical surface. Then clean the optics by using mild soap solution or any solutions like, as professors have said, you can use RO water or distilled water or this mild soap solution. Or is there any stain even after cleaning with this solution, any of the solution, then you can use 70% or 60% isopropyl alcohol. These kind of things you can use, or never use any spirit or rubbing alcohol or acetone to clean the optics. So acetone is good for glass lenses, But in the case, if you are not as sure about that whether the glass is made up of optics is made up of glass or plastic, then just quit the acetone. You can prefer these kind of solutions. So clean the solution with the mild soap solution, clean the optics using mild soap solution, and then clean the optics with dry cotton soaps 2 or 3 times. The stain cast, you have to remove the stain cast by the solution. So you have to clean 2 or 3 times with the dry cotton swabs. And also never touch the optics with your bare finger. So it may cause, if you imprinted your fingerprint on the optics, it may cause stain, which reduces the quality of the image. So instead of uh, refracting the light, it reflects the light. So the image quality will be reduced. So next, you can use the bulb in the low illumination setting or the optimum illumination setting. There is no need to keep the illumination in 100% always. So you can keep it in optimum illumination. So when there is a need, you can increase it. Otherwise, you can keep it in optimum illumination so that you can prolong the lifetime of your bulb. You may all know the bulb of the equipment, all it's very quite costlier, expensive. So the headband of the instrument should be hung in its exact place for using this headband only. So you're not supposed to keep the instrument in any place. And also keep the spare bulb always with you to reduce the downtime. And once the examination is over, make sure the on-off switch is fully turned off. To ensure it, a click sound will be heard. So make sure the on-off switch is fully turned off, and properly wind the cable of the indirect ophthalmoscope as well as the power supply of the indirect ophthalmoscope, and keep them safely in its case at the end of the day. So let us move on to troubleshooting techniques. So when the instrument is not working, first we need to check whether the power supply of the instrument is connected with the plug or connected with the supply not. So connect it well. If the main switch is in off position, then it won't work. First turn it on. And sometimes the input voltage that is given by this circuit, if there is no 230 volt, then we have to check it with the help of the electrician and we have to fix it. And is there any loose connection with the power card? We have to fix it well, fastening the power card well. And sometimes because of the power card failure, it won't work. You can easily check this power card continuity using the multimeter. Keep the multimeter in the continuity mode and check the continuity of the power card. Is there any issue? Then you can replace with a new power card. And sometimes because of main switch failure or the potentiometer failure, you may need to replace those spats. But to replace this, you may need the help of the biomedical people. And if the power supply is working, but there is no illumination means, then definitely there'll be a problem with the indirect ophthalmoscope. So first you need to check whether the bulb is good or not. So it can be easily checked using the multimeter. By the using of multimeter, then we need to check it and replace it with a new one. And sometimes the carbonization deposits over on the contacts may hinder the power supply to the bulb. So we have to scratch these two contacts using paper knife, then it again start work. And sometimes you may feel dim illumination or the image produced by the indirect ophthalmoscope is not clear or not enough. Then first you need to check whether the bulb is seated properly in its place. So if it's not, check them and seat it properly. And because of blackened bulb, you may get some dim illumination and also the not cleared image. Then you have to replace with a new one. And because of dust in the optics, you may feel some discomfort image. So clean the optics, clean the front portion, front window, as well as the eyepieces of the indirect ophthalmoscope. So hope you understand very well about these three different equipments, Streak Retinoscope, Direct Ophthalmoscope, and Indirect Ophthalmoscope. So by using this opportunity, I would like to tell you something about our programs, training programs, which we have conducted in Aravind Eye Hospital, Madurai. So there are different programs there. The first one is in-person training. So it's a 4 weeks program. So usually we conduct 6 times in a year. So every even month you could find this batches. So the latest we have conducted 132 batch. So we'll mostly concentrate on hands-on training, and also we expose them in a different maintenance camp so that they have some exposure on different type of equipments too. So it's an in-person training program. If you need any hands-on training, then you can come with this come for this program. And the another program connected by us is on-site training. So it's a 2 weeks program. So we'll go to that particular on-site and we'll conduct the same training what we have offered in the in-person program. So far we have conducted 31 courses in different countries, like especially in African countries. So Malawi, Mozambique, Kenya, and Tanzania, Cameroon, Nigeria, and so on. So all these sessions will give you the theory session. That means we'll explain how the equipment works, what are the parts, and what are the common troubleshooting techniques we can do, and what are the care and maintenance we can offer, how to educate the users to handle the equipment, and so on. And we'll give them a hands-on experience on how to install and do the preventive maintenance for each ophthalmic equipment. So we mostly cover 90% of the basic ophthalmic equipments here. For the computerized higher-end equipment, we'll give them overview of that particular equipment and care and maintenance of equipment. And we teach them how to dismantle the basic equipments like direct ophthalmoscope, indirect ophthalmoscope, streak retinoscope, slit lamp, microscope, and so on. How to dismantle them, how to clean them, how to reassemble back to its original condition. And also we'll teach them the troubleshooting techniques. So what are the problems usually we come across? Based on that, we teach them how to troubleshoot the common issues. And end of the course, we'll give them a certificate along with a toolkit. So without tools, even though you are a trained biomedical engineer, you could not do anything with the equipment. So we offer them a toolkit. And also there is a program available in online. So we have such a wonderful videos which I have played earlier now. So that is one of our online training video. So it's a self-paced learning program. So we give you a 1 year access, so you can go through with this program for the 1 year. And also we have few live sessions to interact with the facilitators. And also we have trained 65 trainees using this online platform. So anyway, for hands-on experience, it's better to prefer the in-person programs and the on-site program. So thank you.